Don't point to the Yankees fucking hat, okay?
My guy's hitting 400 right now. Okay,
bro. The Aaron Judge is on the I don't want to hear it. He's on the juice.
Okay, good.
You know what I mean?
The good stuff.
I'm with you. If you ain't cheating, he was like, yo, I want to find out what cycle he's on and give it to like Christian Campbell and them niggas, man.
Do you think he's on eye steroids? Because he's hitting 400.
Bro, whatever the fuck Barry Bonds was taking, he taking the mutated version of that. Welcome to an all-new episode of the No Rules Podcast. I'm Aaron Hilton, as always, joined by my main man, Malik Smith. Malik, what's up, dog?
What up, big dog?
Oh, man. I'm good. I would say that I'm in Mansion and Benz's right now, but it feels like if I'm in Mansions, the Mansion's on fire right now. House is on fire. It's 85 plus degrees in this house right now. My HVAC unit is not working. My homeowners out there understand the struggle. When the HVAC unit is going out, there's a ghost in the room. My lights flickering back here. This is like Halloween isn't for another couple of months, buddy. Let's fucking relax with the flickers and the weird shit, you know. God damn it, if that ceiling fan doesn't feel good right now, so I'm not complaining.
It's actually a little chilly on this side of the camera. So.
That was unnecessary. It was an unnecessary flex that you just made right there. You could have let that one live.
Well,
you didn't have to go there.
Hey, shout out to the homeowners. You guys do what I wish I could.
With enough money to loan us.
You guys do what I wish I could, which is complain about how shit is breaking in my house that I pay for. Unfortunately, all I have is rising rents. So I don't know who really wins in this situation. Did you win or did I?
You, because you're not hot as fuck. So I'm gonna go with you on this one. Fair. Actually,
fair.
You know, if that's perfectly okay with you. Yeah, I mean, this has been a difficult moment for me, but it's just a moment, you know. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, we will have everything all figured out. The HVAC person will come in, they will wave their magic wand and cure all that ails us here in Shea Hilton.
That's exactly what happens. They wave, and then that's it.
100%. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even wave. Sometimes they just walk in and it's fixed.
In, wink, and then everything. Yeah, exactly. Like Bewitched.
Exactly. You know what I mean? A little Samantha wink or like a wiggle of the nose or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever she did. I can't remember the show.
It's like 60s television. You know what I mean? Like, she did something.
WandaVision? What? Well, I don't
know. Oh my god, this is mad creepy. What's going on?
It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I'm a little concerned. If something pulls you off screen, I'll be like, "Oh, okay." I guess that's the end of the podcast. Indefinitely.
That's all I needed to see. We're not gonna have a 13 ghost situation here. I'm just gonna shut this shit off.
Yeah. Exactly. Close the laptop. Just slowly close the laptop. Like, help! No.
Start saying red rum and shit. Like, oh man. But Malik, brother, the Celtics, they live to fight another day, man. You know, you had them on the ropes. Obviously, let's start off with the well wishes to Jason Tatum. We wish for him to have a speedy recovery. Nobody wants to see somebody go down like that. Ruptured Achilles. It was the worst case scenario for them. It's most people assumed when they saw how he went down. But yeah, man, tell me a little bit of how you were feeling. I know you recorded the game and watched it back later. I don't know, was that like a better experience or worse, having to watch that on tape delay?
So I had a meeting that I had to go to, and after I left, as I was walking out, I heard somebody yell, "Yeah, Knicks in 5." So I kind of sort of knew what the outcome might be, but I wasn't entirely sure. And I tried to convince myself that I didn't hear what I heard, or I was unsure of what I heard. So watching the game after the fact, I'm watching the Knicks go down 14, and I'm like, wait, so we do lose this game? I was like, what's going on here?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
And yeah, I mean, it was a thrilling experience to sort of watch it in the moment. That game was awesome. Game 4 was unbelievable. Like you said, prayers to Jason Tatum, because I feel like his injury really put a damper on what was gonna be like an instant classic. He probably would have had 50 if he kept going. It was 3 minutes left. I mean, he was missing a couple shots, but he was making a ton of them too. And Brunson was matching him shot for shot. But the game was unbelievable. Like I was super thrilled. And then the thing that happened that always happens in these situations is people on TV started talking, and they just started pretending like the series was over, which I would imagine was probably a bit of a motivating force. Maybe not the biggest motivating force, but definitely a motivating force for the Celtics. Because in Game 5, they came back and smacked the hell out of us in the second half and hit every three known to man.
The Luke Cornett game, man.
Yeah.
Was it 7 blocks?
Former Nick, by the way, which is it hurts. It hurts.
Westchester Nick.
New York Nick. He used to shoot threes.
I mean, he was on the New York Knicks too.
He used to shoot threes with us.
He was a G League call up.
Yeah. Shout out to Phil Jackson. So series is 3-2 Knicks. Going back home to the Garden for Game 6. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but I feel like I was nervous for every game, and taking it stride. They should absolutely still win this series, even though I feel like a lot of people. My uncle texted our family group chat that the game shouldn't be close because it was tied at halftime. I'm like, this team won a championship last year. Are people forgetting that like they have like two? Well, one of them is hurt, but you have an all-star, all-NBA player. Kristaps Porzingis is. I don't know what's going on with him.
You got 2 out of the 3 Olympians that are on the team. They're still active. You know what I'm saying?
And man of the year
couldn't miss.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek White was on fire. I didn't get to watch the game. I was working that night, and I walked by the TV screen at the bar, and I'm looking like, does that say what I think? It was like 69, 67 or some shit at the time. Like I can't remember. It was still relatively close, but I was like, damn. Celtics got some fight, man. I thought it was going to be one of those where like they lose a close game, but they still lose, whatever type of shit. Then I come back and look on my phone. I'm like, they're down 20 points?
Yeah.
How the fuck is this? Like, yeah, man. Big game. Big Peyton Pritchard game.
Huge.
Played 40 minutes. He contributed quite well to the Celtics victory, but it's a different game to do that in the Garden. What I'll ask is this, though. What chances do you give the Knicks to win in Game 7? Say they do lose. Say worst case scenario does happen. They lose in the Garden tomorrow. What chances do you give them back at TD Garden for Game 7?
I'd say it's a coin flip. They still have the momentum right now. And even if you lose a Game 6, you can tell yourself, like, well, this team won the championship. It was never going to be easy. If you gave us, if you told us we had to win the series in 7, or we had a chance to win the series in 7, you absolutely take it. Maybe you're saying all those things to sort of convince yourself that you haven't, blown a 3-1, that you're not about to blow a 3-1 lead. But, I think the Knicks in this series have certainly played better when the expectations were lower for them. Game 3, we saw it. It was afternoon game. You got like every former Knick who was still alive was like in the Garden. Every celebrity who wants to, be seen on TV is in the Garden.
Yeah, both Kardashians in the building.
There was so much,
shout out Charlamagne.
So much pressure on that game, and I feel like the Knicks, they came out super flat, right? And it just they didn't play well. Conversely, you look at Game 4, different crowd, different mindset, because you feel like, oh shoot. We thought like maybe potentially we could put this team down 3-0. Like maybe we were going to sweep them. Maybe we come back and get the sweep. And then you get beat, handily in Game 3. Game 4, they came out and it felt like they just were playing their asses off, man. Like diving for loose balls, and like they really, the defense was really good. And granted, Tatum just kept chucking, and they were happy to let him do that. I think Game 5, the game plan was a little bit smarter, driving and kicking and trying to get everybody involved because they feel like, okay, we're down our best guy, so we need to, play collectively, whatever. We get to games. If it goes to Game 7, I think it's a coin flip. I think anyone could potentially win that game. And they should win Game 6, but
I'm not even worried about Game 7. This is like a quintessence. This, I really feel like it could be, and I'm really not trying to reverse jinx you. I understand what it's like. I've been that fan on that side.
You're not reverse jinxing it. Like, you're just jinxing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not trying to like make it so that you're, in the
Reverse happy.
doldrums and like I don't want you to be like worried about a game seven and all the other. This is just how I feel about the series because like I think a lot of times this thing happens where a team loses a game and then all of a sudden you think like we saw it happen in the Cavaliers series, right? So the Cavaliers come, they win a game, in Indiana, and you're like, oh my god, this is gonna, and then no, Indiana was just like, no, we're gonna put our foot on your neck and we're gonna beat the shit out of you, um, and take this series, and that's what they did. They took their hearts, and we could talk about the Pacers, and Timberwolves a little bit later, but like this is it. It reeks for me of like the Celtics weren't gonna go out like that. This that seemed like a one for Tatum. Championship spirit, championship medal. I do not expect the Knicks to go out there in the Garden and dog walk them the way that the Cavaliers got embarrassed by the Pacers, but I do fully expect the Knicks to walk out of the Garden in a classic slugfest between two of the most storied franchises in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, and I expect your Knicks to come out on top. I do expect you to lose probably a year and a half off of your life watching the game, so I'm gonna pray for you, my dog. There's no way to spend a Friday evening for sure, but it'll be worth it for you in the end if what I believe to be true does happen. Because ultimately, I think the Knicks come out with the victory in that game. But I mentioned the Pacers and Timberwolves in passing. They handled business. If you had to guess, I mean, technically by record wise, the most dominant teams in the postseason for either bracket have been the Pacers and Timberwolves. Each of them have only lost one game per series. Convincing fashion. They're beating good teams. Historic teams in case of the Cavaliers with the way that they were winning in the regular season, and the Pacers treated them like an 8 seed. So, who are you more confident in, moving forward in a chance to make it to the championship?
Who do I think has a better chance to make it?
Yeah, who would you give the best chance of advancing?
So it's funny because the way I thought you were asking this question is who am I more confident in just generally, or who's like been more impressive? I think the Timberwolves have been more impressive, but I think the Pacers have a much better chance to make it to the championship because whether
They don't have to play Oklahoma City.
exactly like whether they have to play us as in New York because I play for the team, whether they have to play the Celtics, like I think they have a shot in both series because they've just been really, really good. But I don't know that their path has been as impressive because they beat Milwaukee without Dame. They beat, the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell just putting on his freaking Superman cape, and the rest of his teammates just being like, "Yeah, you got it. Like, go ahead. Like, win the game for us. It's cool. We're just staying around and miss a bunch of shots.
We're just collecting checks here.
Yeah,
we don't even really.
It's like,
these belong on the floor.
These are the playoffs,
right? Playoffs.
Yeah. So, and that's not to take anything away from Indiana. They've been really great. Right. Shout out to Halliburton. But to me, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Sorry, small market teams. Minnesota with Ant and what they did to the Lakers, and obviously Steph is there, but they played their asses off. But we don't know who's going to win in the OKC Denver series right now. The OKC is up 3-2 in the series. The game is currently on as we're recording, but I expect Oklahoma City to come out. Even if they don't win this game, I expect them to come out of that series. I think the Pacers probably have a good shot. With all due respect to my own team, which I think is really, really good, and if I'm not mistaken, are favored right now to win the East. So, that means absolutely nothing. But
yeah, I mean, favorites and all of that stuff. Like you said, it means fuck all in the end. But I do agree. I think that the Pacers probably have the best chance because again, they don't have to play Oklahoma City or Denver if Denver finds a way to win the game. But I think if Denver wins, I think that's a much more winnable series for Minnesota.
Yeah. Denver has like five guys playing. They play 5-6.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
they play 6.
Yeah, but what I will say is, I have been impressed with Ant, but to me, it's like he kind of beat the Avengers after the Thanos snap. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah,
not the full group.
you beat the Lakers. Like LeBron's 40, and there's no like he was playing center for a lot of the game. You know, it was him and Rui Hachimura playing center. So it was like, I mean, Rudy Gobert in the closeout game getting a 20-20 game. Like, come on, that's not. And then you go and you beat up on the Warriors, who again, no center. So it's like, yeah, you won those games.
Yeah, you don't
still
get to pick who you play. I said you don't get to pick who you play.
You're right. You still have to go out there and win the games, and I don't want to disparage it, but again, like the Warriors were a 7 seed, so like we all have this lofty opinion of the Warriors, but they had to win a fucking play-in game to even be in the playoffs. 1, and then 2, no Steph Curry for the decisive Game 5, and he was dealing with that thumb injury throughout the series. No interior presence yet again. That is not something that neither the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Denver Nuggets have problems with, is interior presence. Jokic is one of the top candidates for MVP, as he is every year, and you know what Isaiah Hartenstein can do for a team as an interior presence, being a former Knick. So I like the Pacers just because they have the confidence. Both teams were in their conference finals last year, so it's not really about that. I just think that for the Indiana Pacers, this Boston series, the longer it goes, like they're just beating each other up. Really physical series. The Knicks, the more games you play, that's just more miles that you're putting on these guys' bodies. Because again, you know, all these guys are playing 45 minutes a game. So, you know, then you go against this Pacers team and they're pressing you full court, 96 feet for the entire game. So it's like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to make you play guys like Miles McBride and shit like that. You're going to find out if Tyler Kolek can play because we're going to make you. I mean,
I can guarantee you we won't.
Yeah, no,
you're not putting his ass in the game.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. He would rather wheel Jalen Brunson out there in a fucking wheelchair.
Honestly, I feel like when Tibbs looks down at the bench, he doesn't see anybody sitting on the bench. He just sees like 1 or 2 guys. Like I think his vision has actually impaired so much that he just doesn't see players that he could put in the game, except Campaign for some reason. I don't know why we're getting so many Campaign minutes. It's kind of ridiculous.
Teams love Campaign. Philly had Campaign last year. We loved him. I don't know what he was getting a lot of minutes for us too.
He's a great presence.
He's a lefty. Yeah, you know, lefties deserve minutes.
He's certainly left-handed. He throws up some shit sometimes where you're just like no. And sometimes it's no, yes, and sometimes it's no. Why did you do that?
God, no. Why are you doing this to us?
Please get out of the game. I just want to say one thing, though, about the minutes, because I do think, and this could be me being totally biased as a fan.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, for sure. I do think for some reason that the Knicks, the team that they currently are playing, the 7 guys that they're playing, I'm not counting the Campaign minutes because it plays 5 minutes a game, but Dukes and Mitch coming off the bench. Obviously, the 5 starters have been playing together all season. I think that's like the most used lineup in the NBA. Well, probably not because of the Brunson injury, but anyway, I feel like they're sort of gelling in a really interesting way where the team just kind of looks good, and I'd actually take their 7 over Indiana's 10, because I feel like Rick Carlisle's playing like 10 guys. Yeah, like they're used to it at this point, so it's not like anything different. They've been doing this all freaking season.
Oh yeah, I mean the Knicks. It's not even a question. The Knicks have more talent. The Knicks have probably the best player on the floor with Jalen Brunson for sure. And honestly, after Halliburton, I don't think probably the next 4 or 5 players are probably better on the Knicks. Like Brunson, then Halliburton, then probably the next 3 or at least 3 players you would probably put off the Knicks, depending on how you feel about Josh Hart. So it's it'll be an interesting series to see if talent wins out. But for my money, I've been very impressed with the run that the Pacers have been on. I am very impressed with how Halliburton has played, the chip that he plays with. He was voted most overrated player by his peers this year in the athletic piece. And I think that this postseason run especially has kind of been a fuck you to the rest of those people who voted him to be most overrated. He had a tweet about it, I think, after winning that series against the Bucks. So it's definitely been fun to see a player like that just kind of blossom and take over and show the world, it's okay to be confident. It's okay to believe in yourself. It's not okay for your father to press the star of the opposing team on the losing floor. But,
respect though.
That aside, yeah, that won't happen again because he won't be at the games anymore. But it's everything else.
He's not even going to show up to the finals. That sucks. If they make
that does stink. Like, you have to watch it on TV like everybody.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough.
They didn't even let you sit in the press box, you know what I'm saying, or in the family box, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, no, you can't even be in the arena. You out. You get the season ban. But I mean, that's what happens. You know what I mean? You gotta. There are rules. Yeah, I guess to round off the NBA topics for today, man. Let's get into my personal topic for today. My 76ers got our pick, man. We get to keep our pick. Praise Allah. We're keeping our pick. We get the number 3 pick, and somehow I still feel like we lost, Malik. Somehow I still feel like we lost, not only because we probably won't get a chance to get Dylan Harper, although, Ace Bailey, still a very good player. Somehow, some way, Nico fucking Harrison has saved, like, I'm not even going to say he said this, because he had nothing to do with this. Okay? Adam Silver and whoever he had loading the ping pong balls saved Nico Harrison's job because somehow the Mavericks won the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. They have the number 1 overall pick in the first round of the NBA draft coming up in June. And more likely than not, they will be drafting Cooper Flag. They said already they are not trading the pick. So dreams of trading that pick for Giannis, throw those dreams away, at least for now. It'll be Cooper Flag in Dallas. Malik, how are we feeling about did this actually save Nico Harrison's job, or is he still, for your money, is he still in the hot seat?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out, because theoretically, if you were looking at Nico after the fact and you were just like, hey, maybe this guy actually does suck. Why did we trade Luka? That was stupid, and the fans hate us now. This is actually your opportunity to be like, oh, we got the number 1 pick. We could just get rid of Nico and be like, it was all his fault. And then we're good to go. We still got the number 1 pick. We still got all these players. So I guess we'll find out if he makes it all the way through the offseason. But yeah, I mean, for now he's been bailed out. Like, not even like Wall Street bailouts weren't this good. Like, this is like the bailout of all bailouts.
When they bailed out the banks, it wasn't like
like, I've never seen someone like get bailed out in the way that he got bailed out by getting the number 1 pick. I don't even know what to compare it to. Is there anything in your life that you can ever compare? Like, have you ever been this lucky in your life where it was just like you fucked up real bad, and then somehow, some way, it was just like, oh, like, oh,
yeah. I mean, numerous times. Numerous times. My mother has come to my defense so many times it's hard to count. And me being the headstrong kind of person that I am, just getting myself into and trying to find my way out of trouble. Being fortunate enough to do so on many occasions is why I'm able to sit here and have these conversations with you, because things could have gone a completely different route. But they didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's nothing to do with the Mavs fans. Yeah. We love you. Again, we love you, Tay. But like,
yes,
the Mavericks franchise, like, they don't deserve good things. They don't. You don't get to trade a generational talent like Luka Doncic in the prime, not even quite in the prime, because he's just turning 25. So he's probably still got a couple more years of growth yet left before he hits that prime, like 27, 28. You don't get to trade that guy to the fucking Lakers of all teams, and then that same year get the number 1 pick. Like, it's not like, okay, you went through a couple of years of shit and you dealt with the karma of trading Luka. It was like, no, literally months later, after the worst trade in at least the last 20, 30 years of NBA history, and you get rewarded with the number 1 overall pick, and in one of the best drafts that we've had in decades.
Like,
in terms of the top end talent, if the things that people believe about Cooper Flag and his game translating to the NBA, obviously he lived up to the hype in college, but there's no there is no, guarantee that it's going to work out for him in the NBA. I think that it will, but just saying before he plays any basketball in the NBA, let's take some false steps here a little bit. But no, that they didn't deserve that corporate bailout. Like my boy Cash has said, the Adam Silver in the NBA, they're never beating the allegations. They're just never beat like that. They stack the lottery, and that's just the way. There's no way.
I don't understand why the NBA would bail out the Mavericks. It's not like the Mavericks are some like glamour franchise.
They didn't want to move the franchise to Vegas. Like that's the big conspiracy, is that they trade Luka to lose the fan base to then be able to move the franchise to Vegas. But if you move a current franchise to Vegas as opposed to bringing in an expansion franchise, then the owners don't get that share of the buy-in money. Hundreds of millions of dollars to each owner. To be disseminated. So
I don't think they were ever gonna try to move the franchise to Vegas. What they want to do is build up what they have in Dallas and hopefully get legalized sports betting in the state of Texas, which is
but that wasn't gonna happen. So like they were, they were saying they were trying to
could happen eventually, but it's gonna take a while. But
if that shit happens in Dallas before I get it in Atlanta, I'm gonna be real fucking mad because FanDuel's headquarters is in Georgia. So like, what are we doing here?
Listen,
I'm tired of prize picks. I really am. Like, I just want to be able to place bets. Like
your betting activity. I'm sorry, your fantasy activity would
because it's fantasy sports. Get it right.
Yeah. Your fantasy activity would say otherwise, that you hate it.
No, I mean,
don't you talk nasty about prize picks when you be on that thing all day? Come on, man. Don't do that.
I love prize picks, man. I love prize picks, but it's like
when you win.
No, I love it just in general. I love it in general because it's my only opportunity to actually like get a piece of that pie. But in reality, it's not the same. Like I get to see, first of all, the odds are so much better on FanDuel for stuff. Now the difference is, with prize picks, I can like flex a bet. So if I get one thing wrong, I don't lose the whole pot of money. So I feel like I have saved myself a lot of money with some of those things, but I also I like being able to, like, if I just believe in one thing happening, like if I just think, like today, I'm over here sweating out Jake DeGrom strikeouts, and somehow he goes 8 innings and doesn't get his 8th fucking strikeout. I just, whatever. But if I was on FanDuel, I could just go with what I wanted, which was just take the strikeouts for the opponent pitcher, Hunter Brown. I just wanted to take Hunter Brown strikeouts. That's all I wanted. I would have put like $50 on it, and it would have hit. But because of prize picks and the rules and the fantasy and whatever it is, I have to pick another player on another team or in a different sport just to make the bet valid. And because of that, you lose. It sucks. So I want different. I want change, but we'll never get it. So, but yeah, I mean, as a Sixers fan, I am happy to avoid having to give my pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder because after being jumped by the Mavs and the Spurs, that's what it looked like was going to happen. The one thing that Philly could not afford was 2 people to jump them. We had 2 teams jump us, and then somehow, some way, we found our way into that top 3. So I am thankful that we still have a first-round pick, that we have something to glob onto. The last time that we had the number 3 overall pick, we somehow traded up to get Markelle Fultz, and, we all know how that ended, and Jason Tatum ended up in Boston and blah, blah, blah. But I was on the right side of history with that one, Malik.
Hey,
I said from February that Jason Tatum should be number 1. What's up?
So how is it that the Mavericks don't deserve to get the number 1 pick?
I don't understand the question.
I'm not done with the question. But the Philadelphia 76ers,
what?
Who have invented a new level of tanking. How is it that they deserve any good things to happen to their franchise? Just out of curiosity.
Listen, trust the process. If you could just trust the process.
We've been trusting this shit for 20 years.
Well, what do they say about a dream deferred? You know what I mean? Like does it dry up in the sun? I feel like no, Philly did not deserve the number 3 pick. We deserve to lose that pick, especially after being jumped by the Mavs and the San Antonio Spurs. We did not deserve it.
Okay,
but I don't care.
I didn't think you would.
Have it. Yeah, I'm glad that we have it, I can at least admit that we got our hides saved by those ping pong balls just as much as Nico Harrison did. Maybe to a slightly lesser degree than Nico did. But what I will say for my team is that there's no guarantee they don't fuck this up. You know, they could get the third pick and then like draft VJ Edgecombe. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's no disrespect to him, but like, that's not what Philly needs. I'm sure he'll be a very good player in his career, but that's not something that Philly needs. We need somebody that we need to take a swing at a star. And if we take a swing on like Ace Bailey and he doesn't pan out, like I'm okay with that miss. You know what I'm saying? That's like the swing you take on like Andrew Wiggins. You know, you take a swing. He was a good player. He won a ring. He found a niche as a third option on good teams, which is not something that you expect out of a number one overall pick. But you know, it's more than a lot of guys. It's more than a lot of guys, and I want Philly to be able to change their culture. I am tired of the whining. I am tired of the foul baiting. I am tired of depending on everything going through Joel Embiid, and all he wants to do is sip on Shirley Temples and complain to the referees and flip off fans and do suck it signs when he on the 3 games that he plays a year. You know what I'm saying? Like I want guys that are out there and playing, and I don't care if you paint your nails and do TikToks. You know what I mean?
Damn, dog.
You're out there playing.
We gotta come at him like that. Damn.
I don't listen.
That's not all.
I am a fan. I'm a fan of Jared McCain. That's what this is a bill in his cap. Like, why is the biggest dog on our team a dude that gets manicures regularly and paints his nails and does TikToks singing fucking My Chemical Romance songs and shit? You know, it's just like it's annoying to me, as you can probably hear from my tone of voice. So I really hope that Philly turns this shit around and figures it out, but there's no guarantees. I have almost no faith in them to do so, but I at least have a glimmer of hope that with a premium pick, like the number 3 overall pick in a draft where there's at least 3 potential franchise altering players, 3 players that in any other year would be considered a number 1 overall pick worthy, between Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, and Ace Bailey. I'm excited to see what happens in a couple of months.
Listen, man, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's not a problem you have. You're worried about rings and shit.
Between Joel Embiid's injuries, I was going to pick one, but I don't even know where to start. I was going to say knee, and I was like, no, he got 2 bad knees.
Knee, hip, back.
Eye. Cerebral palsy? No, Bell's palsy.
Cerebral.
Yeah.
Cerebral? Bell's.
No,
it was Bell's palsy. Yeah. Cerebral palsy, I don't think.
Yeah, you would be bored with that. That would be crazy to have made it to the NBA with that.
Right.
But either way, yeah, to be honest, I don't know. Y'all should just blow it up. When I say blow it up, I mean just the Embiid and Paul George, who was on the Pivot podcast. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
And he said if it wasn't for LeBron, he could have ran the East. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess we just move away the second best player in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just going to rewrite history, sure. Yeah. It's very easy to like believe that.
He said it like
you're not being.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
He said it like, yeah, well, if you just take away LeBron, like we would have won the East. It's like,
the fact that Carmelo moved over to the Knicks, and then they traded for J.R. Smith and all that.
They beat us in the playoffs. So he mentioned that. He said the only guy who couldn't beat LeBron, which is like, well, that's the freaking point, dude. Like, I don't like LeBron wasn't.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Anyway, the point is
that LeBron guy. Like, yeah, he's pretty good. You know.
I've heard of this. Dude.
Yeah. He's the name is familiar. It does ring bells.
Yo, you guys should just go young, man. You know, Maxey, McCain, Quentin Grimes.
Listen, this is the first offseason. I really don't care what they do with Embiid. I don't care. They trade him for pennies on a dollar. They keep him, and with hopes that he turns it around. Like whatever. Like my biggest thing last offseason was get rid of Tobias Harris. We did that. My biggest thing this offseason was keep your first round pick. We did that. Or Silver did that. So
I was gonna say not in a good way, but yeah.
We kept our first. No. What I punted on the season.
Oh, you mean
after McCain got hurt? When McCain got hurt, I was like, yeah, there's no hope for this team. So, which is sad. But No, I think now that we have our first round pick, we have something, some sort of hope, some glimmer of hope to glove onto. You have another young star, or at least young asset, if you're looking to trade it or move it, whatever they want to do. I'm interested to see what this ownership group, what tricks Daryl Morey has up his sleeves. I don't know if he's going to take this nucleus with an aging Paul George and a 30-year-old Joel Embiid on a bad knee, and depend on Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper to be that missing link. But I hope that we keep whatever rookie we draft and that they turn out to be great. But if they decide that it's better for them to trade that pick and use it as an asset to get another NBA rotational player or star or whatever it is, then I'm fine with it. I just want this team to show signs of life. I want them to fight. So that's what I'll be looking for in this coming season. But right now, all eyes are on it. The lottery is over. We have the number 3 pick. Nico Harrison still has a job. And the Knicks have an opportunity in Game 6 to reach the Eastern Conference Finals.
Feels like you kind of threw us in there for another jinx, buddy. I don't know. I don't know if I feel the authenticity.
It's not a jinx, man. Isn't it the last time you guys made the finals? Didn't you beat the Pacers to get there?
I believe so. No, 99.
Or was it the other way? The Pacers beat y'all to make it to the finals.
Pacers
I think that's
beat us in 2000.
In like 2000 or something, like 1999 or something. Yeah.
No, but
So
I
did you
we
look
beat
at-
them the year before, though. Yeah, we did beat it because that's the
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, listen, if
for Pat.
we get Knicks Pacers, it's going to be with Reggie Miller on the call. It's gonna be insane.
That's gonna be nuts.
It's going to be insane. Yeah, I'm not even really sure what. Like, I don't think they have enough highlights of Reggie Miller.
ESPN should just put Mike Breen on loan to TNT for that series, so you could have Reggie Miller on color and Mike Breen, the voice of MSG, on the play-by-play. That's the combo I want to hear.
I feel like Reggie would step on Mike Breen doing the bang. He would do
click. This is your Kodak moment.
I will say this though, he's been actually better. He's been better.
He has. But you do not interrupt the bang. You don't. You got to let it go.
Yeah, you got to let the bang.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. If that happens, believe me, I'd be a happy camper because that would be awesome nostalgia. And also they beat us last year, so you know what I'm saying, we get a little get back. But gotta get through Celtics. So we'll see.
Yep. Gotta finish the job. So we'll see.
No
guarantees anything will happen. Do you have anything for dad rules today?
I gotta tell you, I don't.
You don't?
I don't. That's the rule. Sometimes you don't have anything to say. Sometimes you have no gems, and you don't really feel like making them up. So this week, I refer to my previous dad rules. That's the dad rule for the week.
I agree. We'll let it linger an extra week because I don't really have any either. It's too hot in my house right now for me to have any dad rules. Right now, my only rule is get this house back cool again because I'm really about to die. I can't believe I made it through this whole podcast without collapsing in a heap of my own sweat. I'm going to go cry myself to sleep because Jacob DeGrom finished the game with 7 strikeouts instead of 8. So don't bet, kids. Do not gamble. It's just not. It's not fun.
Well, it's not gambling. It's fantasy.
Right. Don't do fantasy sports for money.
Why was the line 7.5? That's insane.
It wasn't. I took the regular line at 6.5 and won that. So it's like I'm complaining when I didn't technically lose money, but if I don't win, it feels like a loss.
Okay.
I technically broke even for today, and that feels like a loss to me.
Okay, fair.
Because of the amount of bet. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's all right.
Hey. You kind of won.
No, it was a loss. This one was a loss, but it's okay. It's okay. I have faith. In the next bet winning. The next fantasy bet, whatever you want to call it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's not gambling because that is illegal.
Addiction. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
No, I don't have a problem. I can quit anytime. Oh, man. Well, for those with and without gambling addictions, for those people that support us on our podcast, for everybody that rocks with us, that listens every week, or every other week, or whenever they can, whatever, man. We always appreciate all the love and support from everybody, man.
Yes.
It has been another episode of the No Rules Podcast. Peace.
Go Knicks.
I can't believe you think I'm going to co-sign that. Whoa!
Come on, man. Show some love. You told me you're going to win. You guys
even have to root for me to win. I just want to be right.
You could just abide the Go Knicks.
Listen, I hate the Knicks. I hate the Knicks less than I hate the Celtics. So that's like the best I can do for you.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Beautiful. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Is that you hate other teams more than you hate us. That's all I ask.